AIW. 4. Still being business partners with my ex-wife? I broke up with my girlfriend yesterday because of a very unreasonable demand she made of me. I am really feeling bad because I love her a lot and wanted to know if she is right in asking for me not working with my ex anymore. I, 35M, was married to my ex-wife Ally, 37F, for 11 years. We had a very good marriage until the end. When I met Ally, we were both at the lowest points in our life in terms of finances. I was an apprentice electrician and was barely able to make ends meet. Ally was a legal assistant and was struggling with a lot of debt too. We both made each other better and grew together. Fast forward 7 years, and I started my own business. We were lucky as the economy was booming and COVID home renovation projects tremendously helped. Ally handled the administrative and finance stuff, and I currently employ 6 people in my company. We were both working very hard and long hours, and it caused stress in our relationship. I felt that we were too focused on business, and it led to us ignoring our marriage. Ally told me that what we have built is amazing, and she did not want to lose it because of the stress we had on our marriage. I also messed as I started talking to my Savannah, 28F, my current girlfriend, who was our neighbor at that time. Nothing physical ever happened when we were married and our messages were strictly platonic, but Ally found out that we were messaging a lot. She confronted me, and we had a long discussion about our marriage. We both agreed that we have both drifted apart and just want different things in life. Ally told me that she is not mad at me, as she also felt that the spark in our marriage is over. She told me that she respects how hard I work and loves me as a friend, but she does not feel the same love for me as she did before. She asked for divorce, and we separated amicably. As we went through our divorce, we both split our business 50-50 and stayed good friends. We also share custody of our kid and have been good at co-parenting. I waited until our divorce was finalized before starting to date Savannah. It's been 6 months since we are officially dating. Ally tolerates Savannah, but feels like she overstepped her boundaries during our marriage. Savannah has also been cordial to Ally and to my kid, and they get along well. Last weekend, I dropped my kid at Ally's place, our old home, and stayed there for an hour as we were discussing some business stuff. When I returned home, Savannah asked me why it took so long to drop off my kid. I told her that Ally wanted to talk about some work-related issue, and we were discussing that. Savannah told me that Ally and me still working together and being good friends bothers her. She feels that I have still not gotten a clean break from her since divorce. I told her that it's important for my kid's sake that I have a good relationship with Ally. Ally has treated me well, both during our marriage and during our divorce. Regarding us working together, I told her that Ally has worked equally hard to build our business as I have, and she deserves to be treated like an equal partner at work. However, I understand Savannah's concerns and will make sure I do not spend time alone with Ally without keeping her in loop. Savannah started acting differently since then, and she kept on asking me if it is possible for us to buy Ally's portion of the business and Savannah can handle that work. The other option would be to sell my part to Ally or someone else and start our new business together. I am opposed to both as it took a long time to establish trust and brand, and we have a lot of repeat commercial customers. I do not think Ally or I would be able to buy each other's portion now since the business is worth a lot. Savannah told me that if we were to move forward, she wants me to spend less time with Ally, and me spending 8 hours a day with her bothers her. As much as I like Savannah, I feel that it is unfair for her to ask this from me. We talked about it for a few days, and I asked Savannah that we should end things if we cannot agree on it. Savannah was heartbroken, but she told me she cannot share me with Ally. We broke up last night. I am feeling really down right now, and losing Savannah hurts. She has not only been a good friend to me over the last few years, but was there for me during the entire divorce process. I want to do right by her as I care for her, but I also feel it is unfair for me to let go of the business that I have built over the last 7 years. Am I wrong to break up with Savannah, or was she right in asking me to not work with Ally anymore? I am really confused and just need to hear from others who are not emotionally involved in this situation. Moreover, how do I maintain friendship with my ex-wife and also be business partners while also dating other people? Now to the next story, Story 2. Am I wrong for feeling unsafe/uncomfortable around my housemate and wishing she would move out after she greeted me at the door with a butcher knife? Due to a complicated chronic health condition I have, which causes me tons of symptoms and has cost tens of thousands in medical bills, I am a younger adult living with my parents in my family home. My parents rent out 2 rooms to other women roughly my age, and until the past couple months, it's mostly been fine and we have all gotten along. However, one of the housemates, let's call her Kate, has a lot of mental health problems, including OCD, PTSD, depression, anxiety, etc. These mental health issues sometimes cause her to act in strange ways, like having severe panic over what most people would consider mild things. And she tends to be very jumpy. Normally, I would be understanding and compassionate about that, but a couple of months ago something pretty scary happened. She apparently has PTSD from an incident with a family member who tried to enter her house one time to talk with her a few years ago. The story didn't really make much sense, and it has caused her to develop an extreme fixation on locks. She has extreme anxiety and obsession about locks and frequently pesters my parents to get a better lock to the separate entrance to her house. Even though we live in an incredibly safe neighborhood with zero history of crime, and the lock is completely functional and standard. There are also 3 locked doors from our basement/storage room to her room. Yet if anyone occasionally forgets to lock the basement door, which opens to the outside/backyard, she gets into an extreme panic, despite the fact that there are 2 other locked doors after that one to get to her room. One time I went on a trip for 3 days and received a panicked message from her saying that someone broke into the house because she found the basement door was open. There were no other signs of any break-ins, just an unlocked door. My parents looked through the video security footage to the doors and did not see anyone. So we weren't too worried and thought probably one of us just forgot to lock the storage room/basement door by accident. I tried to contact her to talk with her, but she didn't respond. I told her before leaving that I would be coming home in the evening on a certain date and tried to text her to remind her, but she didn't answer. When I came back home at night, she had locked the deadbolt of the front door, which we never do. And since I didn't have the deadbolt key, I rang the doorbell. She yelled, "Who's there?" and opened the door with this completely crazed look in her eyes, yielding a massive butcher knife, the largest one we own, holding it upright and standing like she was ready to hurt someone. My heart rate immediately spiked from seeing her like that, and I took a few steps back. I spoke in a calm tone until she put the knife down and waited a few moments for her to calm down before entering the house. When I finally entered the house and then walked into the kitchen, I saw she had an arsenal of over a dozen of sharp objects, butcher knives, steak knives, and even scissors, displayed in a line all over the kitchen counter. This really freaked me out, and I wasn't sure if she was going through some kind of psychosis. I explained to her that all of this was a misunderstanding, and that I had just accidentally forgotten to lock the basement door, which I profusely apologized for multiple times. She proceeded to lecture and chastise me about how it's not okay for me to not lock the door, how I need to be better at remembering, and how she needs me to lock the basement door in order for her to feel safe. At this point, I started feeling extremely unsafe around her due to her extreme reactions and her walking around the house with PTSD and deadly weapons. At night, I locked my door and I was somewhat scared to walk to the bathroom in the middle of the night because I didn't want to startle her if she was walking around with knives. She also has a weighted machete which she sleeps next to, and she's mentioned how it can hack someone's limb off. Overall, her mental health problems combined with her carrying deadly weapons in my family's house makes me feel extremely uncomfortable to the point that it's been causing me anxiety in my own home. She has agreed to get intensive psychiatric treatment and is in a 30-day outpatient program right now to better manage the OCD and PTSD. The house has felt so calm and peaceful without her here, but I'm having anxiety about the thought of her returning home. Am I overreacting about this? Next story, Story 3. AIW for telling my friend's boyfriend that I am not her best friend. My friend Sophia, 28F, is upset at me, 27M, for telling her boyfriend Noah that I am not her best friend. I am really lost on what I did wrong and why I am getting the blame for the fallout. Sophia and I met due to a common friend and have known each other for the last 5 years. Sophia has been a good friend, and we would generally hang out on weekends with the rest of our friends. Sophia also lived in the same apartment complex as me, and we would sometimes hang out at my apartment, along with other friends to watch TV. Sophia started dating Noah around 6 months ago. I noticed that Sophia started messaging me more than normal about random stuff like TV shows, music, etc. around the same time, and would send me memes and TikToks all the time. She also messaged me if I want to hang out at my place after work during random weekday evenings. I would generally say no, unless more friends wanted to join in. On Saturday night, we were all at my friend's apartment for a party. Sophia and one of my friends left to pick up food, and Noah came to me and asked if we can talk for a few minutes. Noah told me that being a guy, I should understand, and he is uncomfortable about my friendship with Sophia. I asked him why, and he said that he understands we are best friends, but he is uncomfortable with her always texting me late at night or hanging out with me at my apartment on nights when he is busy. He said that he has discussed it with Sophia many times, but she has told him that she will not tolerate him controlling how she behaves with her best friend. He said that he is getting very serious about his relationship with Sophia, and if he should know something before, he commits with his whole heart. The truth is Sophia and I are good friends, but we are not best friends. She is just one of the 8 girls in my friends group that I hang out with, and never have we shared any deep personal secrets about ourselves. I told Noah that he has nothing to worry about. I told him that I would not refer to Sophia as my best friend. In fact, before she started dating Noah, we would barely message each other. I also told him that I never hang out with Sophia alone, and she only visits my place when other friends are invited. Noah asked me if we ever dated or hooked up in past. I told him that Sophia brought up the subject 5 years ago, but I told her why I would not want to date her, and we never talked about it again. Noah asked me why Sophia would refer to me as her best friend then, and I told him that I also find that weird, because we are good friends, but definitely not best friends. Noah thanked me for being honest, and the night went on. Yesterday afternoon, I got a call from Sophia, and she was really mad at me. She asked me what I told Noah, and I told her about our conversation. She told me I was an asshole to tell Noah that we are not best friends and how I messed up her relationship. I told her I did not say anything bad about her, and in fact soothed his concerns that there was anything going on between us. She told me that they had a big fight the night after the party, and Noah confronted her about why would call me her best friend and tell him that you were at my apartment alone, when none of those things happened. She told me that I should have just backed up her story. Seems like they are having a big fight about her lying to him. I feel bad for Sophia, as I really feel they both are cute together and Noah really likes her. Sophia has also told us how much she adores Noah and that they are happy together. It's hard for me to understand why Sophia would lie to Noah that we are best friends, and we hang out alone together when he is busy. Am I wrong to tell Noah that Sophia and I are not best friends, and should I have just played along? I am not really sure I even understand why I messed up, or what to do at this point. Last story. Story 4. My wife is worried about looking like a single mom. Am I wrong? My wife is a very insecure woman. She always has been like this. It's mostly due to childhood trauma. I'm going to have to give a background of our life so this post makes sense. We live in the South. We are both African American, and in our community, it's not the norm to get married anymore. But we still have a lot of children out of wedlock. Baby mama and baby daddy culture is normalized. The sad truth is Black people are more likely to get together at a funeral than a wedding. I'm not going to argue with anyone back and forth about you're generalizing. I know my cousin is married, but she doesn't make up the rule. The exception doesn't make the rule. There is statistical evidence available for your own research. But I know my own community. I am part of my community. I know the truth. I just have to get that out of the way since I know how this app feels about generalizations. From the first day I met my wife, she said she's 31, and she's not going to waste her time, and she only dates to marry. I respected that she was upfront about her intentions. We actually got married just 7 months after dating, and we've been married for 5 years now. We also have a toddler. I remember she told me her life goal was to be a wife since no one in her family is married or they are divorced. The problem is that my wife is paranoid and she cares what other people think too much, even people that we don't even know. I'll have to provide examples. I'll try to make this easier to read because I know I wrote up a bunch of paragraphs. And my wife and toddler were at the grocery store and there was a rude older lady with younger children, probably granddaughters. My wife overheard her say, "This is why you don't have children out of marriage." What a whole mess. Bless her heart. The old lady said that because toddler was throwing a tantrum in the grocery store, and my wife started crying in the car saying to herself, "I'm married." My wife recently went back to college and she recalls taking a sociology of families class in college, and they were going over the racial statistics of marriage and divorce, and she said her heart just felt like it stopped when the teacher pulled up statistics of the Black community having the least amount of marriages and most children out of wedlock and the most divorces. She told me she felt so embarrassed. She's really upset because a lot of people just assume she's not married even though she is. She says people assume she's unmarried and have kids just because she's Black. This goes as far as her refusing to go to places alone with our toddler. So I work full-time and my wife works part-time, so it's best and more convenient for her to take our toddler to doctor's appointments because my wife doesn't work while the doctor's is open, but I do. She doesn't like going to the doctor's alone with the toddler because she says there are only women there, and they are gonna assume she's a single mom. My wife tells everyone she's married, to men and women, kind of like a humble brag so they don't think less of her. The last time she went to the PDS, she was talking to another mom, and the mom was talking about how hard it is being a mom and how one time she had to take a sick day because of a baby emergency, and my wife just says, "Oh wow, I'm so sorry, my husband, and I know how it's like with a small baby." My wife had coworkers and friends joke and ask her about how many baby daddies she has. One of her coworkers said, "Oh, you did things the right way, huh?" She is speaking about my wife getting married first and then having a baby. Her anxiety about everyone assuming she's unmarried and a single mom was so bad that she told me she wanted me to exchange her .5 carat ring with a 3.60 carat ring. Yes, I did it. Thank God for lab-grown diamonds. She wanted a big diamond that popped out so everyone knows she's married. My wife does take anxiety and depression medicine, but she doesn't go to therapy. She won't go to therapy because she thinks therapy is a scam, and she personally says she doesn't feel better venting or talking about her feelings with a stranger she's paying, her exact words.